Hello, and welcome. So, I wanted to share a practice that many of the participants in my classes find really helpful for getting to understand how to support yourself with lifting legs. Um, I recently uploaded a kriya that is a Nabhi Kriya, which uses a lot of leg lifting. And one of the things that I want to make sure of is that you know how to support yourself as best as you can with the concept of rootedness. Because if you haven't yet felt it, it really takes a while to really understand what rooting is all about and how it supports you to elevate the legs and do that work. So, what I hope is that you receive the same benefits that the participants in my class have through this kriya. I mean, through this through this recording. So, I want to walk you through a sequence of awarenesses. And I want to show you first before you get on your back so that you have a visual. So, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you be on your back. And I want to invite you to feel what it feels like to be rooted. And what I want to do is give a visual so that you can see if you experience this in your own body. So, usually, what happens is many people will not necessarily understand rootedness, lack the navel strength to keep that lower back on the floor. And so what will happen when you do that is that you lift from the use of your lower back. And what I want to show you is how I can actually bring my hand under the lower back so it feels like I'm supporting my leg lifts through the lower back. Through the use of the navel, yet it's really happening from the lower back because the lower back is, I'm exaggerating right now, but it's compromising so that there's an action that can lift the legs and it kind of drives into the floor through the sit bones. And that is what it means to lift using your lower back. So you'll find that when you're starting to give momentum, this is a very common thing that I see. So instead of controlled movement, there's like a yanking that's happening. And again, that's still because you're using your lower back and your lower back was not designed for that. So what instead I want you to explore in your own body is with the knees bent, what it feels like to move from connection to the floor. And so what that means is that I'm taking my tailbone and sending it away from me. There's like a tucking that's happening in my pelvis and my navel is being drawn into the floor. And what I want to do is a sequence of awareness exercises just from this place. So I want to invite you now to come onto your backs and do the same thing I'm doing. Bend your knees. And what I want you to do is just kind of explore. So men and women have the design and structure differently. Men generally won't have as much of a spaciousness in their lower back as women will. Yet you still will have some space because your pelvis is relaxed. You're not engaging anything yet. So I want you to sense what it feels like to be relaxed and not engaged. Now, I want to invite you to experience what it feels like to be engaged and connected to the floor. So I want to invite you to, again, it's kind of like there's a tuck that's happening. So my tailbone is being pressed away from me, which is drawing my navel into the floor. And that is connecting my lower back to the floor below me. See if you can feel that. And once you feel that connection, like even kind of, draw that tailbone even deeper so that you can get a really solid connection and then relax it. This is the best way to create awareness is to just do this kind of so begin again, rolling that tailbone away from you, draws the navel to the floor, brings the lower back in connection to the floor below you, You're anchored, you're rooted. This is what rootedness means. You have connection from which to elevate, and you relax it. Let's do that one last time. Once again, just rolling that pelvis, drawing that navel, connecting that lower back, and once again, relax it. Now, I want to invite you to explore why and how that supports you. So, keeping the arms alongside the body with the palms facing down, knees are still bent. I want you to invite the right leg to lift. You're not doing anything to support yet. You're just literally letting the body be relaxed and lifting that right leg straight up. And I want you to relax it again. And I want to invite you to notice what happens when you do that. So you're going to do that again. And I want to invite you to notice what's happening as far as your lower back, as far as your connection, where the connection point happens, and as far as what actually engages to make that happen. So once again, you're not doing anything to support it. You're just brutally lifting that right leg up. So what I notice in my body is that the only point of contact is again at the base of my sit bones. It's kind of like there's an elevation that happens in my lower back. And I'm also engaging that left leg to support the lift. Now, I want to invite you to relax it again. And once again, just do that again in a slow motion to really pay attention to all that is engaging. So again, I notice that there's a lot of pressure in the right side of my hip that's going down, driving down into the floor, because that's really what's helping me elevate my leg and bringing more action into my bent leg. And there's no connection in my lower back. So once again, relax it. Now I want to invite you to do the same thing with the other leg. Just raise that other leg again. We're not yet supporting it. See what happens. Bring it down. I'm going to do one more on this side just to even out the body. Let's do that again. Notice what happens. There's a counter action in my body. And bring it down. Now I want to invite you to explore what happens when you're connected. So the first thing we're going to do is that first exercise where you're lengthening the tailbone, drawing that navel, and feeling the connection of the lower back on the floor. And now I want to invite you to lift that left leg and notice how it feels. So for me, there's such little effort. It feels so much more supported. I'm not really engaging the opposite leg. Relax it down. Once again, keeping that, so relax it. Let's do that again. Extending, drawing that navel down, and raising the left leg up. And stay engaged, bring it down, bring the right leg up. Stay engaged, bring it down. Notice what happens as you bring both legs up. And bend the knees again, relax, let it all go. Just see how it felt to do that. One last time. Lengthen, connect. Right leg comes up. What happened? What do you notice? Can you feel yourself engaging that connection even deeper in a way to support that leg? Maybe lift the other leg up. Feel how it feels to have both legs up, feeling engaged. Now keep both legs up and disengage. So what happens there? What do you notice? Where is the action happening for you? What is actually supporting the legs to elevate? And in my body, once again, it's like right at the base of my sit bones, and my lower back is off the floor. So if I were to move up and down, it would be only my lower back that would be brunting the whole action. And the lower back wasn't designed to hold that kind of action. So I'm going to hug the knees in. Let's stretch it out a little bit here. So once again, bending the knees, I want to invite you to do this one again where you're not doing anything and you're invited to lift both legs up. And what happens then? What do you notice? Where do you notice the effort? What is the connection you actually have? And how does it feel? And then as you have your legs up there, engage. Bring that navel by drawing that tailbone. And notice what happens and what shifts. Now stay engaged and bring the left leg down, keeping the leg straight. What happens then? Stay there. Bring the left leg up. Bring the right leg down. Now, if you don't have enough navel power, even rooted, you'll notice that there's a little bit of weakness. So you can always just bring your hands under the base. It's kind of like, for me, it's the periphery of the navel area. And I'm still engaged. I'm still bringing that connection to happen. But what happens is it gives me a little bit more stability. So see how it feels when you bring that left leg down again. Keeping that connection. Notice how that changed. And again, rooting down to lift. Let's do the other leg, right leg. Staying connected. It does take energy. You are invested energetically to be in action at the navel. So this is not for the lighthearted. This is just a way to get you to start engaging the navel. So even if, like, let's go ahead and just hug the knees in, stretch it out there, rock side to side. So I want to do one final thing with you so that you can tell the difference between when you are engaging the navel to support the navel development versus feeling like you're making it easy on you and you're cheating yourself of that, and also not supporting your body. Let's go ahead and stay with the hands under the hips unless you know you don't need that level of support. So what I want to do is I want to invite you to extend the legs out, straight out with the heels together. And just again, you're relaxed. Notice the difference. So your hands are under the hips. My lower back is super raised. So the first thing I'm going to do is lengthen the tailbone away to draw the legs towards the floor. So I'm engaging, and if you don't have enough navel power yet, I want to invite you to stay engaged and connected. And then slightly bend the knees to bring the legs up, straight up to 90 degrees. Still connected, focusing on the connection. And now soften the knees and extend them out as you bring it down. Let's do that with the breath. Inhale as you bring the legs up by softening the knees. Exhale as you soften the knees to extend out. The attention is on the connection. If you find it easier to let go and release that, and just bring the arms alongside the body, you can do that. Again, first action is to anchor and root, and you're just supporting your legs by softening the knees to lift them up
softening the knees to extend them out. So the difference that I notice, if I can describe it to you, is that my lower back stays connected. I am engaging. There's effort that I'm creating to stay connected. And again, it's all happening with the support of the lower back, being connected. If I don't do that, again, the automatic thing that'll happen is that my lower back gets disconnected, and then I'm just engaging with effort, and it's kind of not really supported to lift this. So again, just hug the knees, stretch it out, and just take a moment. Extending the legs, I want to just invite you to see what it feels like connecting to the floor. Lifting the right leg straight up, bring it down on the exhale. Inhale as you bring the left leg straight up. Exhale as you bring it down. Inhale as you bring both legs up. Exhale as you bring it down. Inhale as you bend all the way up. Exhale as you bend, bring it down, never losing the connection of the floor with the lower back. And now you can hug knees in, bring the chin in to rock up and down or side to side.
And I hope you found that little practice helpful to understand and start consciously engaging your navel. So anytime we do anything with navel, anything with leg lifts, it really is all about that engagement and that connection. Okay, so I hope that that's helpful. Feel free to let me know what has been most helpful and what you need more support around when it comes to leg lifts. Because once you get the support that you need, you'll find that you'll really enjoy those leg lifts. Okay, Satnam.